So I grew up in an open wheel family, I suppose. My dad raced open wheelers from the 60s, 70s, all the way through to the 80s. And it's always been in the blood of the family.
Macrow is a veteran of Australian motor racing, been around for a long, long time.
I mean, I did Formula Ford, Australian Formula 3, and at times Australian Formula 3 was really competitive, but it was never a premier open wheel category, and that's what Australia needed. Back in the 80s, they were the show. The touring cars supported the open wheelers, and we needed to get back to that.
A brilliant start from Costanzo from the second row of the grid. Look at him firing up towards the front there in 84. He's past Brown and he's past Perkins. Brown in the third.
The first time I heard of the S5000 was I saw a photo of it at Mike Borland's, and I drove for Mike Borland in Australian Formula Ford in the early noughties, and I went down there. I just went down there to check it out. I thought it was awesome. I met Chris. I conned Mike to let me have a sit in it. And it went from there. I've always had a bit of an engineering background through my dad. We've always worked on our own cars, and I'm always really interested in the engineering side of things. And that's why I wanted to be in the project, testing, working the car out, suspension, aerodynamics, going through the whole car and doing something ground up, and that really interested me. So initially we had the FT5000. That's how it all started, with a small team at Mike Borland's. And they slowly built the car up. This is about 5 years ago, so it's been a long journey from that point. And it was me, Mike, a few of his crew, and Chris, obviously, who had the harebrained scheme of doing all this. And he just wanted to create a car that the fans loved. And that it was loud, and it did all the right noises, and made all the right moves. And that's what he created. So we did a little bit of testing with that thing. And then obviously we had some other issues along the way with, rival cars. But in the end, that car really shone through. And then it progressed into what we have now. Mike handed the project over to Gary Rogers Motorsport. Obviously we needed a car with a halo on it, so that all happened. And I continued on with Gary Rogers, which I'm really grateful for, and continued the testing, and that's how we ended up with the car that we have today. So along the way we had suppliers like Hollinger, we had Rog from Innovate, and those guys progressed massively with the gearbox and the engine. The gearbox has always been absolutely bulletproof since day one, and Rog progressed with the engine, and the engine really evolved from the first car. And then from then with the new tub, we sort of worked on the suspension side of things, plus also we had to incorporate a new tyre as well, because we did start with a different brand of tyre, so we had to change the car quite a bit to make the car work on that tyre, and that's when we ended up with the Hoosier tyre as well. So little aerodynamic things that we tried, and suspension stuff as well as we went along the way, and we just made the car into what it is today. So I was really proud when we got to Sandown. I've worked with Chris. There was a bit of risk involved in working for Chris and the early part of the development of the car. And it went all the way through to Sandown.
For the first time, the lights go out, the wheel spin happens, and S5000 comes to life at Sandown Raceway.
And just winning that first race was phenomenal, and also just seeing all the cars on the grid, something that I'd helped create, was really great. Obviously, it didn't end so well in the last race, but hey, we were leading it when we did it. And, the whole category just looked awesome, and the amount of people that were out there to check out this category was phenomenal. And you got to hand it to the guys at ARG and to Chris and to everybody involved. The crowd just absolutely loved it, and it's exactly what we needed.
Gee, I've been impressed with Goldie. He's going for the lead here on the dirty side of the track, gets it done, but Macrow will fight back here and repays the favour.
So for me, the future of this category is to progress further than it already has, and it will. I know the crowds are going to love it. It's something different as well, and I know that everybody's going to be competitive in it as well. The car is designed in a way that everybody can jump in and have a crack and run up the front, even from the small teams to the big teams. For me, I'm going to keep driving, but also I want to run my own team in the category as well, which I'm doing now, and I want to progress and stay with the category for the years to come.